Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be introducing my 2025 Project Pan series. I've been wanting to do a Project Pan for a little while now, but I actually picked out the items and I've set some usage goals. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's go ahead and get into it. I wanted to start off by talking a little bit about the reasons why I wanted to do this Project Pan in the first place. Mainly, I want to just not purchase any makeup for the next 3 months. I figured it would be a good way to give myself a bit of a reset. I really just wanted to give myself a way to use these products and not worry about trying any sort of new makeup. So no makeup or even just beauty items in general for the next 3 months, unless I completely run out of something and I don't have anything to replace it. Then I'll probably end up purchasing something. For example, I am running very low on my Neutrogena oil-free eye makeup remover, and that is something that I can't really go without. So that one I might end up purchasing, but besides that, no makeup, no beauty items. I'm really gonna stick to a complete beauty no buy for the next 3 months. And then another reason why I wanted to do this Project Pan is just so that I can get more use out of my makeup. I've really been enjoying my makeup collection a lot more than I ever have in the past. I've been really getting back into doing more makeup looks, even just for fun, like even if I'm not filming them. So this to me is a really good way of getting more use out of my items and also getting more creative, because especially since I'm not gonna be buying any more new makeup for the next 3 months, it's really gonna force me to get creative, especially if I'm craving buying some sort of beauty item. I am gonna reach into my makeup collection and shop my stash. And one more thing before I get into the Project Pan, I really just want to save some money for the next few months. We do have quite a few things that we're trying to pay off right now, so not buying makeup for the next few months I feel like is a really good way to save money, because since I do have a YouTube channel and I do enjoy buying and trying new makeup, it's really easy for me to be tempted to buy new makeup, even if I'm not the most interested in certain products. Sometimes I do end up falling for the hype and I want to try them on my channel and test them, but I am going to be sticking to this no buy. So yeah, those are the reasons why I'm doing this Project Pan. Now let's get into all the items that I picked out. Now the way that I'm going to be tracking my progress is I do have all of the items listed out on this notebook, and I'm also going to be weighing every single item. And as far as like updates, I figured maybe every 2 to 3 months would be a good place to start. Maybe just like every 3 months actually. That way I can make enough progress to share with you. So let me know how often you guys like to watch Project Pan update videos. Okay, so starting with the first one, this is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. And I have this one in the shade 2-3 Light. This is what I'm wearing right now, and I'm actually wearing all of the items that I picked out. I really like this one because even though it doesn't give the most coverage, I would say it's about light to medium coverage. It does even out my skin tone really nicely. It's very lightweight and breathable, and I just really like how this one looks and feels. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup whenever I wear this. I'm almost halfway through with this one, so my goal is to use this one up completely, which I feel like I could do by the end of the year. I'm not sure how realistic that might be for me, but I'm gonna try to use it on its own and mix it into other foundations. So I'm starting off with 121 grams of this tinted serum, the Auric Glowlust Radiant Luminizer. This one I have in the shade Selenite, and this one I like to use underneath my foundation. So I probably should have talked about this one before the tinted serum. I wanted to go in order of application, but this one I use underneath my makeup. I use it as a glowy base slash highlighter. So I do like to apply this one to the high points of my face, and this one is super glowy. It's a little bit thicker than some other luminizers that I have, but I really like this formula. It gives a really pretty pearly finish to the skin, so that's why I like to use it under my foundation, and I feel like it peeks through really nicely, even though I do have foundation, concealer, setting powder, pretty much a full face of makeup, but I can still see some luminosity peeking through. So this one is not even halfway through. My goal is to use this one up completely, which might sound unrealistic because this has a lot of product still, and I do use a tiny bit of this because a little bit does go a really long way. So it might be a bit unrealistic to try to use this one up, but I do want to challenge myself. So I'm starting off with 171 grams of this product. I don't know how long it's going to take me to use it up, but I'm going to try. The NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This one I am not even halfway through with. I really enjoy this concealer because it's very, very thin. It also has really good coverage, so I do enjoy this one. And I am starting off with 19 grams. I don't love that this one has a pump, so I end up using a little bit too much concealer sometimes. I do wish I had a doe foot applicator instead, but the pump isn't bad. It does dispense a little too much product though, so that's like the only thing that I don't love about this one. But as far as the actual concealer, I really like this one. The Nudestix Nudies Matte in the shade Bondi Beige. This is a very, very warm toned bronzer, but even though it is super warm toned, I really like how this looks on my skin. It ends up looking a little bit less warm toned than when I first apply it. I don't know why that is, but it ends up looking really seamless and the color does work on me. But I really like this one. I like how it blends out. It is a bit of a stiffer formula, I would say, compared to some other ones. It's not quite as creamy as some other stick bronzers that I have, but it does blend out nicely. I have used up quite a bit of this, but I am trying to use up all of this. So I'm starting off with 26 grams of product. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to use up this product. I do use quite a bit of it whenever I use it, so maybe just a few months, especially if I do use it consistently. This might be unrealistic of me to include 2 cream blushes in this project pan, but I'm not trying to use these up completely. I really just want to set some usage goals. So these are both from LYS. These are the Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blushes. This one is in the shade Grateful, and it's a really pretty mauve. And then this one in the shade Unforgettable is a coral. And this is the one that I'm wearing on my cheeks today. They blend so nicely onto the cheeks. They don't look super dewy. These have a satin matte finish, so they do work really nicely on combo to oily skin, because even though they do have a tiny bit of a sheen, they don't emphasize any texture because they don't look super glowy. So I really like these. I want to get more use out of them, but I'm starting off with 31 grams for each of these. I have used these pretty much the same amount, and my goal is to use these at least 12 times each over the next 3 months, which I think is a pretty realistic goal for me, especially because I do have a ton of liquid and cream blushes, and I like to rotate through them, but I really just wanted to give myself a goal to use these. So 12 times for each of these over the next 3 months. The Beauty Bakerie Flower Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Oat Translucent. I've loved this powder for the past few years, but I feel like not enough people talk about this one. I like that even though it's not super matte, it does set my makeup really nicely. And I like that it has more of a natural finish. So whenever I use this, my skin doesn't look super matte or dry. It just sets everything in place. I think I'm about halfway through with this one. So my goal is to use this one up, but I'm starting off with 54 grams of product. I know it's gonna take me quite a few months to use this one up. I have used up other setting powders in the past, and it takes me months and months, honestly up to a year plus. Even if I'm using them super consistently, because I guess I just don't use a ton of powder whenever I do my makeup. So it takes me a really long time, but I'm gonna challenge myself and try to use up this powder. I have another setting powder in this project pan, but this one is a pressed one. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Pressed Face Powder, and I have this one in the shade Light 8. So for this one, my goal isn't to use it up completely. I just want to hit pan on it. I have had this one for a few years now, so it's technically expired, but it seems to work just fine. And I do like this powder, but it's not my favorite. I honestly don't think I'm going to be repurchasing it if and when I do end up using it up. I do like that this one has a bit of coverage, but I don't feel like it extends the wear of my makeup a lot. It's just not the most long wearing setting powder in my opinion, so I do like it. I want to hit pan, but I wouldn't repurchase this one. But with this one, I'm starting off with 71 grams of product. Okay, this powder bronzer I've had for so many years now. I think I got this one in 2018, maybe 2019, so it's technically expired at this point. But this is one of my go-to powder bronzers. It's almost matte, but it does give a little bit of a sheen. So I like that it's kind of in between. It's not completely glowy, but it's also not completely matte. I love using this one with other bronzers, especially cream and liquid ones. And this is in the shade 200, which I think is the medium shade. I think they still make this, but I haven't really seen it in a lot of different places. So hopefully it's not being discontinued because this is a really, really good powder bronzer. I'm starting off with 51 grams of product. And I think I'm gonna hit pan very, very soon because I can see the rings of the pan. But honestly, it might take me longer than I think it will because I thought I was gonna hit pan on this last year and then I didn't, even though I was using it pretty consistently. So yeah, this is a really, really good powder bronzer. So hopefully I can hit pan by the time I do my first update. I don't know how realistic that might be, but that is the goal, and the long-term goal is to use this one up. And then the last item in this project pan is the Bite Beauty Yaysayer Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Cider Donut. I purchased this one right as they announced that they were closing down the brand. This one I'm pretty sure I got on sale, and I have made quite a bit of progress on this, but my goal is to use this one up completely because I have had it for a few years now. But with this one, I have 22 grams of product left. And this is a really pretty gloss. I am wearing it today, but I think it did rub off now. So I'm gonna go ahead and reapply some. And this one has a twist up applicator. So that is something that I don't really see with other lip products. So the packaging is really unique, but this is a really pretty sparkly lip gloss. I really wish they still made this. Very shiny, but also very glittery without feeling chunky on the lips. And I'm wearing this with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Anywhere Caffeine. Alright guys, so that is it for my 2025 Project Pan intro. Like I said, I'm going to be tracking my progress by weighing everything. I'm also going to be taking some progress pics. So about every 3 months, I think is how often I'm going to be doing these updates. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Are you doing a project pan as well? Let me know in the comments down below, but I will see you in my next one. Bye.